Welcome to Good Morning Football. We are presented by the Home Depot. Excited for these matchups this weekend. You just saw that sizzle reel. Ooh, it's always great when you have Aaron Rodgers facing Russell Wilson. Always great to have all of us at the table together. Burleson, Schrager, Brandt, Adams. Let's do it and hit the lead block.
Lead block.
All right, it's a quick peek at the schedule, but I do want to focus on the Seahawks and the Packers. Game day morning on Sunday kicks off at 11 a.m. Eastern. Aaron Rodgers will sit down with James Jones. That's always great. I feel like Rodgers sort of is more vulnerable when he's with his boy. And Russell Wilson sits down with Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. That all kicks off at 11 a.m. Eastern. The Seahawks and Packers wrap up the divisional round weekend. Seattle coming off a win over the banged-up Eagles in the wild card round. So let's start to get some reports on these squads. Stacey Dales, what's shaken with Green Bay?
After a 2-year absence, the Green Bay Packers are back in the playoffs, and boy, for them, does it feel good. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers on Wednesday saying, winning is a cure-all. If you truly care about the squad, embrace your role, you feel like you're part of something special. He said it has felt that way for him, and it's been a lot of fun. He's got one Super Bowl title to his name. How often does he, though, think about a second? Here is his response.
It's on my mind every day. I mean, that's why we play the game. That's why you put in the time in the offseason. That's why you do the little things. It's to put yourself in this position where we're 2 games away from being able to compete for that. So, I mean, I'm 36. I know what this is all about. This is an important opportunity for us.
Right tackle Brian Bulaga, who has officially cleared concussion protocol, said on Wednesday, I'm sure a lot of people didn't expect us to be in this position at 13-3. I asked him, do you guys feel like, or still feel like, you are the underdogs? And he said, yeah, you could say it feels that way. But that's okay. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. And he said the opinion we have of ourselves and what we can do, it's one of confidence. Right now, let's get you to Omar Ruiz with the Seahawks.
Good morning, Stacey. After ranking near the bottom of the league in sacks this season, the Seahawks exploded for 7 against the Eagles. Bobby Wagner telling me it was their relentlessness, both in their pursuit and their attitude, that helped make that happen. Pete Carroll saying it was the activity and presence of Jadeveon Clowney, just a problem. That was the difference maker. And Clowney's core showing signs of improvement after not practicing most of the week last week. He practiced in a limited role yesterday. Of course, a different challenge now going against Aaron Rodgers, who Pete Carroll called ridiculous. Another challenge on Sunday, the forecast. Temperatures calling to be in the 20s. Pete Carroll saying not a problem. It's only about 10 degrees cooler than they saw in Philadelphia and about 50 degrees warmer than their classic playoff game in Minneapolis 4 years ago. Now let's go back to you in the warm and cozy studio, Kay.
That's right. It's not as warm as cozy as you might think, but thank you so much, Omar Ruiz. Stacey Dales. Head-to-head, Russell has 1 game up on Aaron Rodgers. I will say, Russell Wilson 0-3 in Lambeau in his career. In the 7 games these two have faced off against each other, the home quarterback has always won. And most of the times they faced each other has not been the great stakes of the NFL playoffs. What does a win in Green Bay do for Russell Wilson? Does it end the debate with him and Aaron Rodgers? Would Wilson then be considered the best quarterback in the NFC right now, hands down?
No, these guys are so good that if he wins this game, you're still going to have that comparison. If Russell Wilson goes on to win a Super Bowl or even get back to another Super Bowl, then he has the ultimate edge. We're talking 3 Super Bowl appearances and possibly 2 Super Bowl rings. Now you can't even put them in the same conversation because 2 Super Bowls will always trump 1. That's why Big Ben is in a different category, even though you can assume that Big Ben isn't in the conversation when it comes to prolific passers. But when it comes to Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, he goes out there, he outduels him in this matchup. I think it's more of just a subtle nod that Aaron Rodgers has to give him versus us watching the game and saying one guy's better than the other.
What it does for us is like, I had Rodgers. In my career, I would beat Rodgers when it mattered. We're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers for the next 50 years. Russ would get him. I remember the first time Michael Jordan retired, the first time. Patrick Ewing, instead of saying, yes, ran up to Jordan and said, no, I need to beat you. Don't retire. You can't retire until I beat you. Aaron Rodgers needs this game, guys. He really does. This is the guy who beats him. This is the guy when it matters most. And I look specifically towards that title game after the 2014 season. We remember it. Packers, Seahawks. This was one of 50 mind-blowing plays. Look at what Russ Wilson just did. This was completed for a 2-point conversion, all right? After this game, Aaron Rodgers comes to press conference and straight up, his opening comment was, I'm going to think about this for the rest of my career. That's it. We were the better team today. You're seeing onside kicks. You're seeing fakes. It's an absolutely crazy thing to get into. Guys, the Journal-Sentinel has a piece this week asking their readers, is this the worst moment in Wisconsin sports history? And most people are saying yes.
Wow.
Some love for Wisconsin losing to Duke in the Final Four, but this was the moment. Rodgers has everything. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's great. Russ gets him. And Kay, we were looking at that shots of him and Clay Matthews up with the T-shirts on the trophy and everything. We talked to Clay years ago, and it's sort of a strange interview, but one of the points that Clay Matthews made.
On a bed.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like that. It really did go that way. But we asked Clay, we're like, you were so young. You and Aaron up there. Did you think it was just going to always be that easy? Absolutely. I thought we were going to 5, 6, 7, win a title every single year. Rodgers has not been back.
36 now.
36. How many times do you get a 13-3 with the first round bye? This might be the last one.
So Russell, in your opinion, has the edge going in, and if Russell Wilson does win and Aaron Rodgers loses, Russell Wilson hands down the best in the end.
I got Rodgers when it mattered. He beat me in a week one game, a week 2 game. Rodgers has some major scars from Russell Wilson. He loses this one, it's another one.
The Rodgers part of this game is so fascinating to me because we're in an era of Lamar and Watson and Mahomes, and we're kissing off Breeze and Brady out of the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is like, guys, I'm still here, and I was 13-3, and I had a really good year, and yet we don't talk about Rodgers the same way we used to talk about him when he was doing that magic stuff. And it's so funny because we're Thursday before the divisional round. Aaron Rodgers is hosting a Sunday night playoff game in the divisional round.
Is it meh?
And do you know what we're talking about today? Show me what we're going to be talking about on the next. Hello! Mike McCarthy is getting more pub than Rodgers this morning, and Mike McCarthy is going to get more pub than Rodgers all day. Which to me just tells me Rodgers might have one last great hurrah here. And it might be one of these runs that we've seen him go on before. Remember when they won that Super Bowl? They were not a #1 seed.
Oh, yeah.
They won road games.
A game in Atlanta.
Against Arizona, against Atlanta, went into Chicago, and then won at the Star and beat Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. Rodgers is a 13-3 quarterback. Make no mistake about it. And Aaron Rodgers in that building, they still see him as the same Aaron Rodgers. And yet, we don't talk as much about him. Mahomes, Watson, Lamar, we're ready to give them the torch. 36 years old. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, I don't think this is about him or Russell. It's about him himself.
I do. I agree with you. I like what you're saying, but I do think the torch is not Rodgers to give. I think it's Russell Wilson's. If he wins this game, he's 2-0 against Rodgers in the playoffs. Their one playoff game that they've ever played each other in, Russell Wilson ended up getting the win there. Russell Wilson in 2019, yes, the team win, what Aaron Jones has been able to do, what LaFleur has been able to do, and Aaron Rodgers keeping this team where they are and playing at the elite level, getting that bye when they really needed it. That's great, but Russell Wilson had a way better year. Yeah. Russell Wilson's second team All-Pro to Lamar Jackson. He had 31 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions. Like, to me, it's hard for me to take any quarterback in the entire NFC over Russell Wilson.
I have to
win or loss, but if they win, it's done.
What are your goals, though? Are your goals to have a lot of great stats and lose to Brett Hundley in Week 16?
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
saying if he wins, then he'll be 2-0 in the playoffs.
I just to look at Rodgers this season and say that undoubtedly that Russell Wilson, I think a lot of people are saying, okay, Russell Wilson had the better year and should be an MVP candidate, and Rodgers is over the MVPs. He's done the MVPs and been 9-7 and 10-6.
That's fine. Given the injuries, given that the game is in Lambeau where he's never won, he's 0-3 there. If Russell Wilson wins there, then I don't think you can take that away from him, and I don't think it's an argument anymore.
I've been fighting for Russell Wilson just to be in the conversation of greatest quarterbacks of his era. And for so long, people are like, well, is he really that good? If you look at what he's done in less than a decade in his career, he's proven to be one of the best quarterbacks. And he will go down. I'll say it again. He will go down as one of the best quarterbacks
if Rodgers were to say, you give me the LOB and Prime Marshawn, I will literally go 19-0. Like, he's had a great hand and a great head coach.
What do you mean, LOB? He had Clay Matthews and Charles Woodson, bro. Like,
these
dudes
cashed it in. Rodgers has won 2 MVPs and gone 15-1. Like,
I'd rather go to
want to promote Russell and all this stuff. Like, let's not forget who Rodgers is.
Do you think that we promote Russell so much more than Aaron?
I think that this season it's been a Russell Wilson whirling dervish because he's had this amazing year, and Rodgers quietly has not put up the numbers, but has gotten the wins.
You just said Rodgers is past the MVPs, but you just complimented his MVPs. I'd rather be on a team where a quarterback takes me to 2 Super Bowls than a guy that has two MVPs sitting on his mantle. That's just me as a wide receiver.
We're overlooking Rodgers this year. I said this earlier. I don't have a lot of Aaron Rodgers memories this year. They're literally the worst 13-3 team ever. Point differential. What are we forgetting about Rodgers? Are we overlooking it?
That he got in with a new coach and has a bunch of receivers you've never heard of and a very, very new defense, and they went 13-3 in a loaded NFC.
Devontae Adams missed several games this week. He'll be there this week. Him up against DK Metcalf is going to be
Sunday night.
Fired up. Come on, man. Sunday. There's a lot of history there. A lot of history with this guy. 20 years worth. Tom Brady gave us a hint at what he might do next season, but what should he do? You guys are going to make the case?
Here we go.
Of Throwback Thursday. I love it. And we're going to throw it back to relive some of the greatest moments in divisional round history as well. Yeah, I'd say this one takes the cake.
Do we have to do that on the street? Are we doing that today? I don't know if I have that in me.